Lexi's in the driver's seat, and she's adding to her
segment
on going through videos and looking for symbolisms. Why are we looking for symbolisms? Well, we've all heard about the music industry, especially in the Western country, which is us, okay, America, and the rumor that has always swirled around, and we know it's not really a rumor, but the people who are in the Illuminati
or Satanism,
which is basically the same thing, okay? It's just they call it Illuminati, but it basically is Satanism, okay? It's always been believed that these people sign contracts, they sign their souls over, and they become really, really famous. And they use a lot of symbolisms. Instead of saying, this is what I'm doing and this is who I'm doing it for, they use symbolisms. And tonight, what Lexi's going to do is Lady Gaga's
Bad Romance.
Now,
like I said, a lot of these people, because of the position they're in, especially in the Western music industry, a lot of times they can't say things, otherwise they'll be executed.
Yeah, they'll probably killed. They'll have an accident.
And they put their true feelings, their thoughts, or they put warnings in their music videos, especially what's going on, if they can't actually physically just say it in an interview. So, we're going to look at the symbolisms of Lady Gaga's Bad Romance.
And I just want to say before she starts this that I'm not a Lady Gaga fan by any stretch of the imagination.
But we love this song.
But this is one of the handful of songs that I've liked from Lady Gaga. And if you've never heard it, and I can't imagine anybody ain't never heard it, and you may need to seriously mute in between. Not sure, unless we're just going to cut it up and we're just discussing what we're going to do, because obviously this will be hit for copyright, and we've seen a lot of people do reactions to stuff where they have to actually take the music away. So we're going to have to try to do this in such a way that you guys will be able to see it, because we don't want it to be taken down, and we don't want it to be blocked in any way, shape, or form.
I'm going to pause in between to mention what symbolism I've catched so far.
Exactly. So she's going to be looking for the symbolisms, and
so it's broken up just enough so it's not completely copyrighted.
Right, exactly. So this is going to be a new thing that we're going to try to do, because like I say, we know copyright is always an issue, and it's just because YouTube don't want to be sued, and I completely understand that, and I know nobody wants to be sued, okay? But this one, Lexi has looked at the symbolisms and stuff, and then some things that she's had to re-reference and make sure that she understands what certain things are. But as I said before, this was actually one of the songs that I really, and I still like it, but Lexi's going to explain actually what this song is about.
Okay. Like I said, I'm going to pause here and there so it's broken up just enough to mention what symbolisms I've caught so far. So far I'm seeing some people in black, some people in white, some people with glasses on, some looks like bullets or beer cans down at the bottom, and she's in a white chair.
Okay, are they in, is that a tub or something right there?
It kind of looks like a tub.
It sort of looks like a tub. Don't really know. Are you going to keep the lyrics up there as well?
Yeah.
Are the lyrics going to be in play with this?
I'm sure they probably will be.
Okay, so let's move forward.
This is one of my favorite songs.
It really is.
I'm sorry, I love the dog. It's interesting how a lot of them have their eyes covered.
Yes.
See, now this I always found interesting, the alcohol as well as the tombs over here. Look like they were like zombies. See, and there's one with monster on it.
And a cross, oddly enough. So, pause that for a minute. So, if you've got the one tomb there, and this, I'm just asking a question because I have no clue. She goes and looks at this stuff and researches this on her own. So, this is a first for me as well, okay? So, would you say that in those tombs or those sleep chambers that they're in, the last one said Monster, which is, was that the name of one of her albums or something? Monster?
I think. I can't completely remember because we didn't really watch many of her stuff after she had gone a little cray-cray.
But my question is, that said clearly Monster in red, and there was a cross on it. So when I see a cross anywhere, I immediately think of Christianity. I always think of Jesus on the cross. I think of the crucifixion.
Well, so that is our symbol,
obviously. So is that, and it went by fairly quickly. is that in some way, shape, or form calling maybe Jesus or Christianity a monster? Is it maybe a negative symbolism?
No, I don't think so. I mean, because if you think about it, the cross being on it is almost like if you were to, like, for example, if anybody's ever seen this movie, The Possession, there was a box that a demon was trapped in with a symbol on it to keep it enclosed in there.
Locked in there, yeah.
And when it was opened, then the demon was freed. I think that the cross being on it is probably keeping the monster inside.
Okay, well, that's why I'm asking. I don't know, y'all. Okay, so she's the one that looks this stuff
That's just
up.
what my gut tells me.
Okay, and I a lot of times trust her gut, and the reason I do that is because, and we haven't started a segment on this yet, but because she is actually gifted with some different things that other people don't have. Okay, so there we go.
See, they came out like zombies. With crowns, their eyes covered. So now we're in a completely white space.
Okay, so that is a bath. Okay, yeah. That is a tub.
That's an interesting hairstyle. That's like some 80s hairstyle stuff. Yeah, they're like all their eyes is covered and crowns on their heads. Okay, so that's actually kind of a really strange transition. The fact that she was in white with a crown on, then it transitioned to
black.
Her eyes being uncovered, and she was in black with a black crown on.
Okay.
But she was looking in a mirror too.
Okay.
That's definitely some bug eye going on right there. I know her eyes don't look like that.
No.
Yeah, they're not like monsters.
Actually, is it monsters or is it more demons?
I mean, it really. Well, I mean, demons are kind of like monsters. The thing is, it almost looks like a zombie in a way, but it moves too fast to be a zombie. So
right, so maybe it's a demon. Just when I see what I'm looking at is this
silhouette.
Thank you. I'm really bad with my the silhouette to me looks more demonic. They're obviously all the same.
Well, one thing I was gonna say was it could be fears, because they talk about inner demons within people.
Yeah, so maybe that is. So maybe they're inner demons, but why are they dressed in white?
Well, that's the thing, though, that I'm kind of confused about is the fact that she, at the time of writing this, I do remember that she was in some bad relationships where there was like little to no love in those relationships.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And she kind of put on the good girl phase of putting up with it to have at least a relationship, and they weren't working out. So basically what she said about this was like it was a representation of toxic love where there's no love involved.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there's symbolisms deeper inside that kind of speak of that.
Okay.
So that could be her inner demons clawing at her mind. So her trying to be a good girl and trying to put up with bad treatment versus her in the black is basically like her eyes are uncovered, she doesn't have to put up with it anymore.
Okay.
That's just kind of what I think about.
And yeah, like you say, all of them's covered. One of them did have a cutout on the eyes.
Yeah, well, say her eyes were uncovered. Or covered. Her eyes were covered.
Okay.
And then when she was in the black, then her eyes are uncovered.
I mean, but I was talking about those white things.
Yeah, all the back dancers had their eyes open, but hers didn't.
Okay, so she's the one with the eyes covered. Mm-hmm. I see, okay. Okay, I think I just saw something that might have been... No, it's not. I was thinking that when she did this... No, she did this. I was thinking about the symbolism that they see, or that I see mentioned a lot with the that thing that's supposed to be the Baphomet. But I think actually the symbol is this.
Yeah, that's the Baphomet.
And I think she was like that.
She was doing a gun.
Okay. See, I get to ask questions, y'all, okay? And if y'all have any questions, drop those questions also in there, and Lexi will be glad to answer those for you guys, okay? Oh, yeah, see, look, that's some kind of a...
Edit.
Yeah.
See, that's a filter. Now that, I never understood what that was, but when you get the whole story out there, why those girls are like thrashing her around, it actually does make sense in a second. See, now that that them ripping the shirt off is more, when it's a woman, it's more of a sexual thing. So the first thing I'm thinking of is they're forcefully doing something to her or going to do something to her. So we'll finish the scene. It's also making her drink something. Could be drugs.
Poison.
See, now we're in a different scene and she's being chained down. So my thing is, she must have been, I guess you'd say, drugged and is being sold.
Okay, yeah, because that almost looks like a, for lack of a better word, almost looks like a potato sack, an old potato sack.
Yeah, and typically they're not really represented that well when they're put into trafficking.
Now, I can't really read what's on there. I see adult only at the bottom.
Yeah, so that would be sex trafficking.
Okay, interesting.
See? And then there's men there. So she's gonna be sold to the highest bidder. And you can tell she doesn't want to be there. She's covering up her breast. She's covering up herself, but they're trying to show her off.
I see.
Now she's got to perform. Now that, I think, shows me she's talking about the industry she's in. The entertainment industry is the fact that basically they do sexualize women a lot in the entertainment industry.
They really do.
And especially in the Western culture.
Yes.
So this would show me that she's saying we are highly sexualized. We are put on the market for people out of entertainment.
Right.
Without feelings of ours involved. So basically, she's being sold off to the highest bidder in human trafficking. But she's saying that basically the music industry does that to women.
Makes sense.
I mean, they really do it to men too, but mostly to women.
Mostly to women, yeah.
Dang. See, they were forcing her, pushing her.
Right.
You need to show yourself off a little more.
How long you psycho, your vertigo stick. While you admire a window, baby, is sick. I want your love.
Now she's got, now that's one thing is a lot of times with sex trafficking, they usually have to do like lap dances or pole dances and all that. So they started doing the bids.
I see.
So she's getting close to the men crowd. And she's gonna do a lap dance for him. See, she's in a cage there. See, he put in the highest bid. Now her eyes is a little uncovered. Now she's not as afraid. So maybe she's come to terms with something in her mind.
Okay.
And she's looking directly at him. She's not looking unsure. She's looking directly at him with ferocity.
Okay.
See, so that's basically like the entertainment industry. You're surrounded by all these riches, all these high things, and then people are just ogling at you. You're just a beauty to them.
Right. So this is before she went super cray-cray?
Yeah, this is before she went super cray-cray.
Okay, and when we say super cray-cray, she is in Illuminati now. And we do know this. There are tons of symbolisms out there. We'll eventually get to that. Maybe not in this video, though.
Like I said, I just wanted to get our segment going of this, and this was one of the first videos I could think of, besides Jimin's, which is the first one, if you wanted to look at that one. But I knew that there was some symbolism in this one.
Right.
There was some definite
and
symbols.
you had said as well, like you said, that this had a lot to do with the music industry, the treatment of women, the sexualizing of women, and the actual trafficking of women.
Especially in the Western culture, definitely. She was trying to warn that in this video. But the thing is, people don't try to look into it to see what they're trying to tell you. And then when it's too late, then you realize, oh, that's what she was talking about. It's just too late. She's in the Illuminati.
Right, she's in Illuminati now. Okay?
She was kind of forced into it. I mean, you're in the industry, and they just tell you, all right, we're going to help your career.
Right.
You're going to be safe if you do this, because if not, then you're going to be on our blacklist for the rest of your life.
And they can ruin careers real quick.
Oh, yeah. Ten circles being like it's a cycle.
Yes.
being a complete cycle.
Walk, walk, fashion, baby, work it, move that bit crazy. Walk, walk, fashion, baby, work it, move that bit crazy.
See, she's kind of thinking.
Fashion, baby, work it, move that bit crazy. Walk, walk, passion, baby, work it, I'm a freak bit, baby. I want your
Alright, now she's off to the highest bidder.
I want your revenge, I want your love. I wanna be friends,
Now, that kind of is speaking to the fact that she has been in relationships where it felt like there was little to no love involved. So I want your love. I don't want to be friends. Because you think about it, when people don't end completely on bad terms, they're still technically friends.
We could be anyway.
She doesn't want to be in that space. She wants somebody that loves and cares for her. And it seems like in the music industry and her trying to find that personal somebody who would understand her is very difficult. And really, it was better romance. Literally, that's what it means. See, and the red could mean anger. See, yeah, the red means anger. That she's worried. And it's a struggle. But she looks determined now. And she's on white, and then he's gonna set on fire. So basically, what she's saying is, I know my worth, and I am worth. I have higher worth than you, who's just bought me.
Right.
So basically, I'm too good for you, and not in a toxic way, but I'm too good for you because you really paid money to have me for sex. Not really to have me as a person to care for. So yeah, which makes sense. Is why she was determined.
Right.
Now he's completely engulfed. Almost saying, I'm too hot for you. See, now she's not crying really anymore.
Roma, Roma, ma, gaga, ooh la la, what's your romance?
And now she's next to a skeleton.
That's funny. I've never actually sat down and watched the video for it. I just always like. Now I could probably tell you in quick fashion that somebody's going to say this is symbolism of Baphomet.
Well, that, but also the fact that it was in his room because he's the one that bought her. So it's basically saying that he's involved in all this, just like she is, but he's the one that bought her. So that's put her involved into it.
And I think as well is when you say they're talking that this was sort of kind of telling a story of what goes on. It's not saying that. I mean, okay, obviously the performers are bought and sold with their albums, and you know, people want you to wear their clothes, fashion, things like that. That's kind of bought and sold. But also there's the underbelly of what goes on with Illuminati, and the thing is they are very, very much into trafficking of people who have been kidnapped. Okay, women, children, girls and boys. And this is something that goes on in Hollywood. This is something that goes on in the music industry. This is a Western thing, but it actually does cover the globe of the world. Other countries are in on this as well.
Yeah, they're all in on it.
They're all in on it.
Our governments. This is why you cannot trust governments. Period.
No,
they're all in on it. I mean,
you can't trust our government at all. Okay, that's bad to say.
But the thing is I wish people had knew before she got into Illuminati
that this was what she was trying to relay.
She was trying to tell you that music industry is basically, even if it's just them being bought by the albums, the clothes, and all that, they're being sexualized and they're being trafficked by these people who are also involved. Because the thing is Baphomet's up here, so he was involved in it and he bought her. Right. And he was rich because he had a gold jaw on. That was symbolism of him being very rich versus her silver.
Right. And the thing is you can go down rabbit holes all day long on the internet and you can find out some really interesting stuff. And do we take it all as truth? No, we look into it ourselves.
And it was kind of interesting the fact that everything was white here except him. He was in black clothing.
Right. And I think it's very interesting that the golden jaw did indicate... number one, that his high status. Also the fact that she was bought. Where was he sitting at? He was on a bed. Okay. She was dressed in basically a bearskin rug kind of thing.
And lingerie.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it is self-explanatory a little bit if you try to look into it. Then there are people who say, man, I really like that outfit she's got on. I really like this. Sometimes you got to go a little bit deeper, and you got to try to look at little things, moves, symbols.
See, and I think her being in the black lingerie at the end, it's like she has to go on the search again. I mean, technically in her mind, she wants to find that special somebody.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't going to put up with this man.
Right. I mean, she'd been bought by him anyway, but,
Well, that was a representation of her having, like, no love. I mean, you think about it, a lot of these people in the Western music industry typically are not pure when they get married to somebody. They usually tend to have sex a lot.
Well, yeah, and I mean, that's the thing, too, is a lot of them don't want to get married anymore. They just jump from one person to another.
A lot of times they see it as a money gain. Sometimes they see it as popularity gain, not really being with that person on a one-to-one level. But the thing is he bought her, so she knows that she means nothing to him. So
Exactly. And two, I'm thinking a lot of times, there's a lot of relationships and marriages in Hollywood and in the music industry. People do get married occasionally, and they change so often. It's like changing your underwear. Okay, so there's really not a lot of love. I mean, they think in the beginning, the first few months is it's love, it's awesome. But it's a new relationship, and eventually that gets old, and they don't want anything else to do with it. So really, that wasn't love to begin with, And unfortunately, some of these people are not going to ever be happy with anybody. I mean, they've given themselves to so many different people.
trying to find that connection. But the thing is, you can't go about it that way. And the thing is, that's all they've known, especially in the music industry, and them all being trafficked and sexualized. That's all they know.
And see, too, I think that in Hollywood, you wonder why. Well, why didn't that couple, work out? These Hollywood people, this star marrying this star.
It's because of egos.
This musician marrying this musician. They don't last because they both have huge egos.
That or one person has a bigger ego than the other, and it ruins it.
I mean, it really does. And sometimes they'll say, it's irreconcilable differences. No, both of you have huge egos, and you cannot, for some odd reason, maybe share that spotlight. That's why I think sometimes it's better for some of these people, don't marry someone who is in your industry. Why don't you try to find somebody who is unknown and actually try to have a life.
Exactly. That's actually why a lot of people, especially not in the West, but a lot of people who are famous in other Eastern countries, they want people who aren't famous because of that issue. If they marry with somebody who's famous, then usually they don't work out.
Right. But you said they want to marry somebody in the industry. You mean they don't want to marry somebody?
They don't. I'm saying that they don't want to marry somebody who's in the industry. They want to marry somebody who's not known. They want to marry somebody who isn't famous.
Okay. So, but yeah. And I think that's really a smart thing to do, because guess what? There's not going to be two egos bumping heads with each other. It's not going to be, somebody saying, well, they're paying you more attention than they're paying me, or you make more money than I make. It's not all that, okay? So I think it is probably better, get somebody who is unknown and not in the industry at all. Just a normal person. Okay, just a normal person.
But this was a great music video of her trying to tell people what was going on. It's just, I hated that people didn't try to see the message in it, because now it's kind of too late for her.
Yeah, because now she is in the Illuminati. We all know she is, because she ain't hiding that stuff. So yeah, she's already in there. She's already been signed. She's signed, sealed, and delivered. She's put that John Hancock on the dotted line, and now she is full on in. And when I say she's full on in, she has gone off the deep end. There's pictures of events and things that she's been involved in.
They're a little disturbing.
That are disturbing, extremely disturbing. There are people that she associates with now that are extremely questionable. And unfortunately, she's going to be in it for the long haul. I think that she is super talented. I think she's a beautiful woman, but I think she's going to be lost.
Unless she's introduced to somebody who would show her the way. The thing is in that industry, you surround yourself with people who do not have that way.
They don't have it. They're all like you. They're all bought and paid for, and they're all trying to fulfill their contracts.
Like the music video showed, money talks.
Money talks, and everything else walks. If you see something that maybe we missed or that she missed or whatever, make sure that you drop that in our comments. If you want to see her break down any other artists from any country, any particular videos, songs. If you see a picture of something and you say, hey, is this questionable? Does this represent anything? Go ahead and drop that in there.
And if I forget things, I may put them in the description that I forgot to mention something. I may put that in there as well.
Right. Because, this is a new thing. This is a new venture for her, but it's really good to try to wake people up and get them to open their eyes and see what's going on right in front of them.
And get them more used to looking at symbolism so they're not so blinded by everything.
Exactly. And the thing is, question everything. Question everything, okay? Look it up, research it, question everything. So, I think the wind's blowing. The wind's blowing here, y'all. And until our next one.